Good morning, beauties, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're getting ready together. I'm going to take you through my morning skincare routine. I do have some new makeup products to test, and then I will attempt to do something a little bit different with my hair. I'm planning to take photos later on this afternoon, so probably won't take too many risks with the makeup since I need it to look really nice on camera, but my skin has been feeling so tight and dry lately, so I am going to begin with some relatively new skincare. This is the Amore Pacific Vintage Single Extract Essence. I've used this in the past, but this is a new bottle, and it was sent to me complimentary because I partnered with this brand recently. They asked me to try their new Ampule serum, and it has been incredible. This is an essence, not a toner, so you just need to shake a couple drops in your hand. I like to rub it together, and then you press it into the skin. And it helps to boost hydration, protect the moisture barrier, and it also has tons of antioxidants. And then this is the new Ampule. It's called the Vintage Single Extract Ampule. It has camellia extract to help boost hydration. Ampule is a separate category from serum, so you can layer this with whatever other serum you like to use in the morning if you have a vitamin C serum. But I really like this texture. For me, this is plenty of hydration, so I'm going to use this in place of a morning serum. And you only need a dropper full. This has seriously helped revive my skin after I used too much retinol. And it almost feels like a light, watery oil. I also like to apply this down my neck, chest, décolleté. One dropper full is plenty for the entire face, neck, chest area. A little over a week ago, I did an Instagram live with Julie Monty, who's one of the educators at Amore Pacific, just to talk about skincare, seasonal changes with our skin, skincare layering tips, and she was telling me all about the new Ampule, of course, but they extended an offer for anybody who's interested in trying these products. I believe it's a code for 15% off. I will make sure I leave all of the information down below. And then last up of skincare is the #1 de Chanel moisturizer. I have been loving this cream. It's great in the mornings. And this also has red camellia. So both the Ampule and the moisturizer have the same key ingredient. I think they work really nicely together. You don't need much of this moisturizer. Just a little bit. The texture feels pretty thick, but it's actually light and bouncy. This is what I've been using during the day. And I think it's great underneath makeup. My foundation lays a lot smoother. No more dry patches or tightness. I want to give my skin enough time to properly absorb the skincare before I move on to makeup, so I'm going to work on my hair next. I have my new Dyson Air Wrap here. I have not played around with it yet. I don't have time to do a full wash-dry style situation today, so instead I'm just going to do my best to revamp the style I have going on. I don't want to recurl it or heat style because I don't think it looks that bad as it is. Just needs a little extra volume up top, a little zhuzh. Definitely some dry shampoo before I leave, so I'm going to attempt to set some curls with the Air Wrap. I have played around with one of these, but it was years ago, and I did a full demonstration on my YouTube channel because the educator who worked with me at Nordstrom, she let me borrow her Dyson Air Wrap, so I took it home with me. I attempted to style my hair a few times, and I liked it, but there is a learning curve. I think you have to play around with it to really get a hang of it. I think I needed the extra long barrels. My hair is so long. See if I can get it. It looks messy, a bit crazy. This is where we're going to end for now. I'm not going to worry about this back part because I really just wanted to create a little volume up top. So a couple pieces down the front and then a little bit on the sides near the face. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to let this set while I do my makeup and hopefully it'll be nice and bouncy at the end. I just pulled out all of my makeup. I do have a couple new things to test here that I've never tried before, including this LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. I know this is new at Sephora. I don't want to take too many risks because, as I mentioned, I need the makeup look to turn out really nice. And sometimes when I try too many new products all at once, it just becomes a bit of a disaster. So I'm going to use this to prime my eyelids. That way I can see what the texture is like before I apply it underneath the eye. I like it. It doesn't look that full coverage to me. It's certainly not intimidating. Sometimes a full coverage concealer goes on like paint, and I'm scared to use too much. But this actually looks really nice, and it doesn't look dry. Especially on the eyelids, sometimes new concealers look really dry and crepey, but that looks really smooth. I'm not sure it will be light enough and bright enough underneath the eye, but we'll test it out. I have my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk palette as always. Not doing anything too crazy with the eyes. I'm basically going to recreate my everyday look. Nothing too exciting here, but I am going to show you the new way I've been filling in my eyebrows, and I think it makes a huge difference. I received a couple comments lately from people asking me if I've done anything to my face, if I had filler or Botox or I changed something, and I haven't, but I really think the difference that you're noticing is my eyebrows. Because that's the only thing I've really changed. It does help to create a very lifted appearance. It almost gives you a fake ponytail facelift look. I just did a basic medium brown eyeshadow in the crease, and I'm blending this out to make sure it's nice and soft. It's a daytime look, so I don't want to get too dark and dramatic, but I am going to add some depth in the outer V, and I'm just using the same palette. My goal for the year is to finish this eyeshadow palette. I don't know if I will truly finish it because I don't really touch these 3 berry shades right here at the end, but I definitely use these all the time. And I've hit pan on 3 of the shadows. I finished this shade. This is almost done. This will definitely be done by the end of the year, so I think I can do it. I feel like that would be so satisfying to add an eyeshadow palette to my empties bin, especially a large eyeshadow palette. I know some people get sick of seeing the same eye look in every video, but I don't get sick of wearing this palette. Flattering makeup is flattering makeup. If you find something that works for you, why not do it every single day? On the weekends or the evenings, I do like to experiment if I have time. But on a regular, everyday, weekly basis, I just don't think I have that much creativity to change my makeup. I'm thinking about so many other things. It's nice to have a couple looks up your sleeve that you're just on autopilot. You don't have to think too much about it, but you know it looks good at the end. That's what I've been doing on a regular basis with my eyeshadow. I think it's more realistic. Plus, I never know what I'm going to wear. I usually pick out my outfit last. So I would hate to apply green or purple or blue eyeshadow and then really be stuck trying to choose an outfit for the day. This is one of the new products I have to try. It's from Victoria Beckham. It's the Crystal Infused Eyeshadow in the shade Chiffon. I really love this packaging, the tortoiseshell. It looks incredibly luxurious and it feels really high quality. I think this is the first Victoria Beckham product I've ever tried. Reminds me of the Giorgio Armani eyeshadows that are similar. Oh, I love it. That is such a pretty color. It has a lot more sparkle than I thought it was going to have. It's sparkly, but I don't think it's too sparkly. It doesn't have chunky glitter. So I do think this is a nice everyday pop on the lid color. Other side. It's not quite as opaque as I had hoped, but it's still really gorgeous. And it looks like you can build it up. Like I built it up on this side. For foundation, today I'm going to use the Dior Forever. I still have not tried the Skin Glow foundation. I don't know why I'm so scared. I guess because it's already pretty hot and humid and I'm just afraid it's going to be a greasy mess on my face. This I have worn before. I like it. I'm not sure it's a favorite foundation. I don't really have anything bad to say about it except the shade is a little bit too dark. For whatever reason, the 3N in this Dior Forever is so much darker than the 3N of Air Flash. But I did sunless tan last night, so I have some color to me. It's not that I dislike the foundation. I think I would probably grab my Ultra Le Tint, my #1, de Chanel, the new NARS Light Reflecting. There are other formulas that I would grab over this every single time, my Guerlain. The Guerlain L'Essential High Perfection Foundation is what's been in the top drawer. That's what I've been using every single day. That I go between either the Guerlain or the Chanel No. 1. It does look a lot better today though. Probably because the first few times I used it, it was right after my dry spell with the retinol and nothing looked good on my skin. But right now it looks pretty nice. I think that probably has to do with the skin prep. I really hope I don't regret this. I'm going to use the LYS concealer. And this is the shade LN3. Concealer can really make or break a makeup look, so hopefully this works out. I actually think it looks so pretty, but it doesn't strike me as being full coverage. What's it called? Full coverage brightening concealer. I would say it's more of a medium coverage. But the finish is amazing. It's got a very natural finish. It doesn't look dry. It doesn't look too dewy either. It's probably one of the most natural looking concealers. I say that as my face currently looks like this. Once I blend it out, then it will look more natural. But the finish is so pretty. I really like it. I'm so glad I tested this out. I almost skipped it. But no, this is a really pretty concealer. The coverage, the finish, everything looks really pretty. I'm so impressed with this concealer. Hopefully it doesn't crease on me throughout the day. If it does, I will let you know. I'll pin a comment with all of the updates on any of the new products. But no, I like it. I really don't need much bronzer, but I'm going to go in with this Nudie stick. This is the Nudies Matte in Terracotta Tan from Nudestix. I have been using this every single day, and look, I'm almost done. Which is great because one of my other goals with makeup was to use up more of my cream products, but I just love how blendable and natural this stick is. It's so fast and easy. It blends so seamlessly into the skin. My plan is to upload a get ready with me or a testing new makeup video every Monday. I think it's a nice way to start the week, be able to share new products, favorite products, and just get ready together on Mondays. I've never had a solid YouTube schedule. I've always just uploaded whatever video was ready at the time, but this way it will help give me some consistency. To set my face, I'm going in with my Chanel loose powder. This is one of my all-time favorite loose powders. Even my Pat McGrath Labs concealer, which I typically use, has been looking a little bit dry lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's the powder, maybe it's the skin. I think it's just my skin has been really dry. But this combination today that we have going on, the skincare prep, the foundation, the concealer, and this powder, everything is coming together. That's exactly what I needed to happen. Mondays are going to be for makeup, and since I'm uploading a lot more fragrance content, I'm planning to do fragrance videos on Wednesday and Friday. So 2 fragrance videos, Monday will be makeup, and then Tuesday and Thursday I just have to fill in the gaps. I was thinking maybe a Chanel video, some sort of Chanel themed related video on Tuesdays, and then Thursdays could be miscellaneous. If I throw in a fashion video or a vlog, something different, that could go up on the weekends. I'm trying to give myself some sort of uniformity, some sort of consistency week to week. And I know most people don't care, and you shouldn't care. You have bigger things to worry about, but I'm just letting you know. Any feedback, any suggestions, recommendations, anything you'd like to see more of, less of, I am all ears. I scooted in a little bit closer for brows. That's what we're going to work on next. I'm using my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil like I usually do. I've attempted to film this in the past and it didn't work out. The brow never looks as good when I'm doing my makeup, filming, sitting down, using the little mirror and the viewfinder as my mirror. Typically, on a daily basis, when I'm doing my brows and I get ready in the big vanity, I have just a huge mirror. I can really take my time, see every little thing that I'm doing. It's important to take your time, especially with this technique that I'm going to share with you. I'm just going to fill you in on what we're going to do here because it might be easier for me to kind of describe it. So what I've been doing, the big difference that lifts the face, is instead of taking the tail of the brow down, like you can even see closely, my microblading comes down here. Instead of going down and following this line, I'm going to extend out and I'm going to elongate the brow so that there's a much more shallow arch. It's going to arch up and then it's going to kind of tail off more to the side, more horizontal instead of going down. And what that does is it just lifts the entire face. It also plays really nicely in with the eyeliner technique that I've been doing for several months now. That sort of cat eye that slants up, the brow kind of tilts up, and it creates this faux lift right here, but it's just makeup. We're not doing anything different. No surgery, no Botox or filler has changed my face. It's just been brows. I'm going to go ahead and begin. The front of the brow starts basically the same. So I'm going to angle up from the center of my nostril through the center of my eye, and I'm going to pull my brows in a little bit. Very softly, I'm creating little hair-like strokes. This right here is kind of the bulk of where my brow starts. So I'm just kind of following that line in. I don't want these front hairs to go up too high because the brow should angle down. And once I've established the front, I've established a width of the brow. And that's the other thing about this new technique. I want that width to stay pretty consistent until the very end. I'm going to brush up. Continuing back with the center of the brow. I have to fill this lower part in because I don't have any natural hairs down there. And I'm going to stop when I get to the natural arch. Here. This is where my brow arches and then it starts to tail off down here. And do you see how there's a pretty dramatic angle right here? I don't want that. So instead, I'm going to brush this up as much as possible. I've even been plucking these brow hairs down here, trying to cover up that microblading. It's unfortunate that I have the tattoo, the microblading that creates that little angle because now I don't want it anymore. And I got it done years ago. It's supposed to only last, what, like a year? Maybe 2 years? I think it's been 3 years. So she did a great job. I can't really complain. It's my fault I changed my mind. So at this point, I'm going to take the bottom of the brow and I'm going to start to angle down, but I'm really pulling the brow out. Like so. This is where the microblading goes. This is the angle that I want. Up at the top, I'm going to extend the arch out. It creates a much more shallow angle right here. Do you see that? It's very small. You could only see really close up. Hopefully you'll be able to see it on camera. But there's a little shadow right here. So this is where the brow used to end. This is where the tail of the brow ends now. But just that slight little tweak completely changes the overall look of the makeup. It completely lifts the face, lifts the eye. And you'll see when we finish the eyeliner, everything just looks lifted. My problem is now I need to go back and cover that up with a little concealer. You can't really see it that much, but you can see it. in person you can definitely see it. See, the front of the brow is pretty easy because it's exactly the same. It's when you get to the arch that you need to be careful. So same thing here. You can see this area was microbladed. It's faded a lot now, but this acts as kind of a guide. So this is what I'm going to fill in. And I want to do my best to create little hair-like strokes instead of just filling it all in so you get a block brow. I want consistency in the width of the brow from the front to the arch over here. So this should be the same width. Depending on the brow hairs you have naturally, you might have to fill a little bit on the bottom, or maybe you have to fill a little bit on the top. I have to fill on the bottom. And then when we get to the arch, you can see same thing on this side. It tails off right here. This is not what we want. We want to extend out. I'm going to brush all of the hairs. Brushing everything up. One side is always better than the other, but you can see this is the angle that it used to have. This is my shadow from the microblading down here, but this is where we ended up. Not here, here. We're not done yet. I'm going in with the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I use this to brush all of the hairs up and set them in place, and you might see little bald spots once you set the hairs. And then you can always go back and fill in the places that you need to fill in. I pulled out my Charlotte Tilbury Smoky Eyes to Hypnotize palette, and I'm taking this matte shade right here. And I'm going to use this to highlight the brow bone. To also cover that up. I went over it with concealer, but you can still see it a little bit. Another tip I have to share about filling your eyebrows this way, more lifted, is that you have to change your blush placement. You might not have to, depending on your face shape and personal preference, but I certainly did, and it was not something that I thought about at all. So I continued to apply my blush the way I normally would, not realizing that it looked ridiculous. It just looked very funny with this new eyebrow technique. So what I was doing before is I was applying my blush really high up here, high up on the cheek. But with the lifted eyebrow, when you apply the blush up here, it just doesn't look quite right. It gives you a lot of blank space right here, so it ends up making your face look a little bit wider and your cheeks looking a bit bigger. At least that's what happened for me. So whenever I fill in my eyebrows more lifted and I do the cat eye, I've been taking my blush a little bit further in. That way I don't have this blank space right here and everything isn't kind of scrunched up in this area. You have the cat eye, the eyeliner, the brows up here, the blush was up here. It was too much up here and I was missing something down here. So I'm going to show you what I mean. This is another new product I have to try today. It's from Victoria Beckham Beauty. It's Cheeky Posh, her cream blush stick, and this is the shade Major. I'm just going to use my fingers and tap this on, because I don't want to accidentally mess anything up. It looks pretty pigmented. So instead of going up here, I'm going to tap a little bit more towards the center and then blend it in a little bit. I kind of, I do this. And I want to stay kind of in line with that little angle, that little slant right here. If I suck in my cheeks, I kind of stick in the middle of that. Ooh, the color is pretty. I don't want to apply too low accidentally, so I do want to keep it lifted, but I'm just moving it further in. And I find that this looks way more flattering with the new brows. Something I learned that I didn't even realize, but it wasn't until I watched it back on a video that I thought, oh no, my blush looks really bad. Really quickly, I'm just going to go back with my foundation brush, no additional product, and I'm going to blend right down here, just to sculpt this a little bit. Sculpt this. There. So much better. Ooh, it blended in really nicely. I'm a bit rushed for time, so I'm going to finish my eyeliner and mascara off camera, but I will come back to finish up the lips. Eyes are now complete. The last two steps are highlighter and lips. So I'm going to go in with this Westman Atelier highlighter. This is what I've been using every single day. It's the Super Loaded Tinted Highlight in the shade Peau de Rosé. It is so pretty. It's one of my favorite highlighters of all time, and I don't want to save it, so I've just been using it every single day. I'm going to pop that right on the tops of the cheeks, just a little bit. And it gives such a pretty, almost iridescent, ethereal glow to the skin. Just a little bit. For lips, I pulled out my Pillow Talk Lip Cheat from Charlotte Tilbury. Of course, I use this just about every single day. And the lipstick I'm going to wear is this Le Rouge Duo Ultra Tenue from Chanel. It's the long wear in the shade Endless Pink. I checked yesterday. Unfortunately, this was limited edition and it sold out. It launched at the same time as Timeless Beige and a few other colors that were meant to be limited edition. Those are still available, but Endless Pink is gone. I will say this is so close to Light Rose. If it wasn't close to Light Rose, I wouldn't wear it because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about it, but they're basically the same shade. I don't have Light Rose to compare. I'm sure they're different, but not by much. So if you really like the Endless Pink, I would go with the Light Rose. It's just kind of the perfect everyday pink. I do like to overline my lips a little bit though. Not much. This is the prettiest shade of pink. It's not too dark, it's not too light. It's kind of a neutral. And it looks so pretty with the gloss. Done. And that's it. This is the finished hair and makeup for the day. I need to spray in a little dry shampoo and then I will be done with hair, but I'm very happy with the result. I did get a little extra volume. I'll need to play around with the Airwrap several more times before I really get a hang of it. And I think if I leave the curlers in longer, I'll probably have a lasting result, but it did give me a little extra bounce. There's a little extra curl. A little bit, not much, but that's okay. You can't really have too high expectations when you're on 4th day hair. There's only so much you can do to make this hair look good. The makeup, I think, turned out really nice. I love the combination of all of these products. The real standouts to me, there are a couple. The new products, the Victoria Beckham eyeshadow and the blush were both really nice, but this concealer, I don't know why I'm so shocked because I've heard incredible things about this brand. I think this is the first time I've ever tried anything from LYS, but I just love how beautiful it looks underneath the eye. It looks very smooth. It looks hydrated. It doesn't look too dewy, but it doesn't look dry and crepey, and it didn't look dry on the eyes either whenever I primed my lids using this concealer. I wouldn't call it full coverage. To me, this is more of a medium coverage, but I am very impressed. I think this is a great concealer formula. Looking forward to wearing it all day and seeing what happens at the end of the day whenever I come home, because I might end up with a little creasing. Maybe I'll change my mind, but right now when I look closely in the mirror, I think it looks so pretty. Everything looks smooth. I think this is the best this foundation has looked on my skin, and that probably has to do with the concealer as well as the skincare as well, because we really prepped the skin nicely. So yeah, this foundation is looking much better. I love the lipstick, I love the combination of the eyes. This is just a very soft glam everyday look, neutrals. I don't have anything really dramatic going on, but to me this is the perfect, flattering, everyday makeup. Something that you can just kind of do on a daily basis. You don't have to think too much about it, and you know it ends up looking really nice, and I feel good taking pictures with this makeup. I'm glad I didn't start experimenting too much with products. I think the combination I ended up with turned out really beautiful. And hopefully you enjoyed seeing my new eyebrow technique. And if you try it, let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Tag me in any of your photos if you post any of them. But it is worth trying the new eyebrow. Just lift the tail. Instead of doing the sharp angle, lift it up and out, and you will see a huge difference with your overall makeup. I've always known, I think it's a well-known fact that your eyebrows make a huge difference with your makeup, but until you tweak them and make little subtle changes, you don't realize how true that is. And then if you do the brows, make sure you change the blush as well. But that completes today's video. Thank you so much for getting ready with me for the day. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. If you have any video requests, any makeup tutorials, or looks that you would like for me to try, let me know down below in the comment section. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.